I am Aurélie M'BIDA, writer at Jeune Afrique, and I am delighted to host this conversation around sport. And we said it previously, sport is a huge industry, $600 billion. So what strategy can we put in place so that Africa and the African industry may be improved to continue with this discussion? Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome a man of experience, a champion, since he was, the winners of the last AFCON. So His Excellency Robert BEUGRE MAMBE, first Prime Minister of the Government of Côte d'Ivoire, Minister of Sport as well. Let us welcome him, please.
Alors, bonjour Monsieur le Premier ministre.
Good morning, Prime Minister, His Excellency. We are here for a little discussion just to continue with the panel that has just resumed. I believe that you deserve the congratulations since Côte d'Ivoire has recently won the AFCON, and it is the third time, if my memory is right, and this is brilliant, and it was a huge endeavor to organize such an event. I believe that it required a lot of investment to build the stadium and the hotels, the roads. So how did you manage? How did the government manage to put all that in place in terms of public subventions, partnership with the private sector? I mean, how did you do it? How did you make it possible? So I want to greet all the friends who stayed to follow this interview. So sport does have virtues. Sport has the honor to federate regions, towns, countries, a whole nation. And sport also allows the youth to develop itself and to multiply the combativity spirit. Sport help the youth to develop the resilience, endurance, and also the capacity to face the sport adversity in the good way, So this is why the sport industry is a heavy industry, and it has a huge impact on the population. I will have the opportunity to tell you about the impact that sport had, especially the last AFCON. The last AFCON really helped the population to get together, the Ivorian population, I mean. So the President of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, His Excellency Mr. Alassane Ouattara, realized that football can help Côte d'Ivoire to show opportunities to the whole world and can allow investors to come and see how they can do business in Côte d'Ivoire, and also can attract people and help people to see the personality of the Ivorian people and the way Ivorian react when there's adversity and all the things that we saw during the AFCON. And this is why he didn't hesitate to put in huge effort to have great endeavors. So we had to develop the sport infrastructures, the playground, the hotels, the training places, the roads, communication, digital communication, the airports, security, health as well, because they are induced effects that we can have as we are organizing such an event. The mobilization of the population, we had to make the population understand the reasons why they had to get implied in this competition, and also the will to create induce effects on the hotel industry, the transportation industry, the restaurant industry, and also the mobilization of the society as a whole, the civil society, to allow the success of the event to be shared and plain. So how did you finance all that? Well, in XOF, Cote d'Ivoire spent around 1 billion XOF, 1,000 billion XOF, so you can convert it in euros or in dollars, and this included all the expenses that were supported to make these AFCON successful. This was a political will, and I believe that the president was right to grant such an amount. When I consider the impact that the AFCON had on a national level and a continental level in the world, and this has also taught the other nations the best practices, should I say. Right, so if you want to remain in the business thematic, how did you manage to convince and to mobilize the private sector? Because this is the encounter of the two words, during the competition. So what were your arguments? Well, you have to know that the private sector is a sector where you have a lot of initiatives, and the initiatives are well planned and well calculated. So the private sector understood that if the population is involved, it's going to be an opportunity for the sector itself to make itself known and to multiply their turnover. If I take the example of the AFCON, many spectators came from different countries, the competing countries, and from all the countries around the world. So, the transportation had a huge, benefit, and they understood that they needed to support this competition. Also, in terms of restoration, all the restaurant owners and the little restaurant that we have around the streets, where you can find so many people with music, with local food and everything, these little restaurants also understood that the field of activity was open and huge. They understood that so many people were to come, so they decided to get involved in the process. Now, in terms of health, the hospitals or private clinics also understood that this was a certain advantage. They understood that through the AFCON, they could be known by the quality of the service. So the private sector really supported the AFCON, and they benefited from it. Thank you so much for this experience sharing. So creating a favorable environment is a prerequisite, and it is fundamental, just like we said earlier, to make the sport industry more professional. But it also goes through the fact to pay. You have to pay to be a spectator. You have to pay to be a viewer. The experience of the AFCON. Do you think that you succeeded there concerning the authorizations towards the tickets and everything, with the population having a limited buying power, and the price of the ticket. How did you manage this? Well, I have to start by the end. The president of the African nation said on the public television that the Côte d'Ivoire AFCON was the most successful since the creation of the AFCON. So we need to keep that in mind when we do the analysis. The second most important point were when we were expecting around 100 million of viewers, we had almost 2 billion viewers. This is also to be kept in mind. Also, for those who followed through the organization of the AFCON, we did have a ticketing issue, and this I can explain the reason why we had this problem. So the organization wanted to sell the ticket online, and the demand was so high that we needed to have a strategy to print the ticket to meet the needs of the viewers, given the enthusiasm that the people manifested towards the competition. And we realized that the way Côte d'Ivoire presented the competition was so brilliant that so many people wanted to participate. So the demand was high, was very high. So we had to manage three complex situations. There was a problem with the issuance of the digital tickets. The second problem was concerning the places where we were meant to make the ticket available, and they were submerged because there were more people expected that came for the ticket, 10 times more than the people that were required. And thirdly, it was forbidden to sell the ticket in front of the stadium. So everybody wanted to have an electronic ticket, and the people were just overwhelmed. So we had to contact the Afghan and we told them that we can support them with the digital services, but we realized that we had to modify the program so that the printing strategy could print 5 times more ticket than what was required. And that's what we did, and we were able to manage the problem, and we were able to sell the ticket, right? But to sell the ticket, there were many methods. The first method was to go to the companies. The companies had some tickets, and they sold their tickets to their workers, and they understood that there was solidarity. This was the social aspect of the company. So the company, they didn't sell, but they offered tickets to the employees. Secondly, the government also offered tickets to the students and to the vulnerable people. And thirdly, the cities and the regions or the institutions of the Republic joined force to buy tickets for the agents of the institutions. So the ticketing can serve as a model of social communication, and during this occasion we experienced that, and it worked the way we wanted because everybody was so thrilled to have the ticket. And even the children as young as 4 or 5 years old, came with their parents to the stadium. And this is just to tell you how people were so motivated to come. Thank you so much. So we understood that people were able to come thanks to this strategy. So did you manage, did you establish a balance between everything? So I believe that the organization doesn't complain. We were able to make huge benefits. And we also have to note that the right to broadcast was over the expectations. We had 2 billion viewers around the world. Thank you, His Excellence, and we will keep you. We will have small pictures with all the panelists. Thank you for your experience sharing. Thank you.